You may drive through New Haven a million times and never notice it. That's because it's tucked away, behind a church, under some trees, on Chapel Street. It's Kawi, a ghost restaurant. A restaurant without any tables or a counter, but a whole lot of character. This is Kevin. Kevin is the owner and founder of Kawi Filipino Barbecue. He operates the shop all on his own, getting up at 5 a.m. every morning to start working on the books, and coming into work to cook every night in time for dinner. But what is a ghost restaurant? I called in an expert to help.
I am a reporter and researcher for the Open Markets Institute. The Open Markets Institute is a Washington, D.C. based think tank.
I asked her exactly what a ghost restaurant is and how it works.
Restaurants might be designed like explicitly to only serve delivery, and their entire restaurant design and operations is built around delivery. And you might have one kitchen that is creating dishes for, multiple branded concepts, multiple different cuisines, all out of one kitchen. So yeah, I mean, that in some ways is just an entirely different type of business.
So I got into the restaurant industry probably around 15 or 16, starting at a pizza place back home in California. But then after that, just found myself falling into food job after food job. So there was a bakery, then I was a cook in the Navy. Then after I got out of the Navy in Connecticut, it was like Hard Rock, Private 16, so it was Steakhouse, Casius, and just on and on until I decided to start doing this. Yeah.
Filipino barbecue. So give me some history here. When did you guys start and what kind of food do you serve?
So we started, our first pop-up I believe was October 2018. And since then we were doing, pop-ups every couple months. And the concept is pretty much just taking all the food that I've grown up eating, including the American side of growing up. Like my father was, Irish Polish, my mother's Filipino, and one of my favorite things to cook in the restaurant industry was doing like barbecue and things like that.
Yeah.
So I decided to kind of bring the two concepts together. So it's some traditional Filipino food and some American Filipino style barbecue. Decided to set up this way primarily because of ease of access. So for me, I only had to throw in a few $1,000s to get some of the necessary equipment and just kind of get started. It's kind of, there is the evil, and so there is like a heavy commission, so it is hard to make money off of this concept.
Yeah, they take so much.
Yeah, so right now it's definitely a passion project.
Yeah.
Trying to keep it's kind of growing its own legs, trying to just keep it going while I look for, the spot that puts me right on the street.
Bertucci's in Glastonbury is on the street. I went to this seemingly average-looking Italian spot to see what's up with all the ghost restaurants living inside of it.
Here outside Bertucci's in Glastonbury, Connecticut, I discovered that this is home to multiple ghost restaurants. While it's advertised as Bertucci's, some of the DoorDash drivers that come here looking to pick up food are actually picking them up for any number of these brands. Some of the brands include Guy Fieri's Ghost Town, Flavor Town restaurant, a Kim Kardashian brand, and Mr. Beast Burger. They also include NASCAR Refuel and a Wing Squad restaurant. A waitress that I spoke to inside told me that they have profited from some of these restaurants, which take a cut of the profit, but at the same time they've had to add new kitchen equipment and new grills and things like that to be able to accommodate the needs of these food brands. Across the street over at Chili's, she mentioned that it's also home to multiple ghost restaurants. The confusion comes in for drivers, DoorDash, Grubhub, who pull up looking for Wing Squad and only see Bertucci's. She says that overall this has been beneficial for their business.
The difference between what Kevin's trying to do and what's going on at Bertucci's is Kevin is trying to operate his business out of a kitchen that he sourced through a church in New Haven. At Bertucci's, several celebrities are housing their kitchen and their brand within an established restaurant. So for Kevin, it's a way to get his business off the ground. But for some of those higher up celebrity types, it's just a place to have food cooked that can then be delivered by a DoorDash or Grubhub representative. And the reviews on these types of restaurants are mixed. I talked to Claire about some of the pros and cons.
There's almost no visibility into whether a customer is ordering from a delivery only ghost kitchen or an established restaurant. There have even been issues where ghost kitchens have tried to deceive consumers and have names like similar to well-known famous restaurants, or sort of rig the Google search terms and ways to sort of pose as restaurants. There have been some established restaurants that have had people complain about food that they didn't produce, and it turns out it was coming from a ghost kitchen.
But for Kevin, doing the ghost kitchen is not about deception. It's about getting his foot in the door.
It's definitely a good marketing tool. Not the best for profitability, but if you are, looking to start engaging with the public, it's, I think it's a good first step. And, I plan on continuing to do this until, I find the right spot for me. But because I just don't want to have like a huge break between doing this and then opening up a restaurant. It at least gives some lightweight continuity, so I can, jump into the next bigger thing.
For Quinnipiac News, this is Emily DeSalvo.